Venezuela sits on what are believed to be the largest oil reserves on Earth, an estimated 300 billion barrels trapped in the Orinoco Belt. But this vast bounty comes with a critical climate cost. Experts now warn that Venezuela's crude ranks among the dirtiest and most emissions-intensive sources of oil in the world, particularly due to methane leaks, flaring, and infrastructure decay. Why Venezuelan oil is so dirty? Unlike lighter crude oils, Venezuelan oil is extra heavy and sour, meaning it contains more sulfur and carbon. This thick, viscous oil doesn't flow easily. It must often be heated underground with steam just to be extracted, a process that burns vast amounts of energy and increases greenhouse gas emissions. Compounding the problem, the country's oil infrastructure is old and poorly maintained. Flaring, the burning off of natural gas that cannot be captured, is widespread, and methane leakage from wells and facilities is significantly above global norms. Methane is an especially powerful climate pollutant, trapping roughly 80 times more heat than carbon dioxide in the short term. According to international energy data, Venezuela's methane intensity, the amount of methane emitted per unit of oil and gas produced, is among the highest in the world, far exceeding the global average. Environmental and climate impacts. Methane emissions from flaring and leaking infrastructure contribute heavily to global warming. Satellite studies of Venezuelan oil production areas such as around Lake Maracaibo have documented persistent methane plumes, indicating that a substantial portion of emissions escape into the atmosphere rather than being captured or burned cleanly. These emissions add to a broader climate challenge. Every additional ton of methane accelerates warming more rapidly than CO2, worsening climate impacts such as extreme weather, sea level rise, and ecosystem stress. Economic and practical challenges. Efforts to reduce emissions, like upgrading aging infrastructure and installing methane capture technology, are expensive and logistically difficult. Analysts estimate that tens of billions of dollars would be required just to raise Venezuela's oil output to pre-crisis levels, let alone reduce its environmental footprint. Even without ramping up production, the existing operations already emit more greenhouse gases per barrel than many other major producers, highlighting that the climate risk is immediate, not hypothetical. Global implications. There is also a geopolitical dimension. Moves by foreign governments and companies to tap Venezuelan oil, including recent U.S. interest in expanding production, raise concerns that increasing output could lock in new fossil fuel infrastructure and emissions for decades, further delaying the transition to cleaner energy sources. In a world striving to limit temperature rise and curb climate change, the expansion of high-emission oil like Venezuela's creates a stark dilemma. High emissions for fossil fuel profits versus the urgent need to cut greenhouse gases.